Life?
It beats being dead.
Hello everyone! We're starting a special stream tonight because we have more MSQ! Yay, MSQ!
Yep, there we go.
We would have started earlier, but had technical difficulties.
Sorry. There you are. Okay, I have something to ask of you.
Okay.
2 Fieldcraft Demi Materia 3.
Oh, yeah. Horde has those.
And you're gonna need to go visit Horde after this.
Uh-oh. And it was Fieldcraft 3?
Yes.
I'm such a hoarder.
That's why you don't have any bank space.
I've honestly been thinking about maybe paying for another retainer just to deal with my hoarding problem.
Yeah, and you're already at 3.
Yeah.
I have as much of an inventory problem as you do, but at least I'm on the base 2 retainers. So if I'm going to go on another fishing raid, I might need another retainer to absorb stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's off to visit Alice.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about this tag. I mean, Alice's quest. This concerns me. I really don't want to get it into the middle of a spat between her and Alphino.
I have to admit, it's been kind of interesting in the fact that I still want to test it. But the current theory is that in the trust, with Alphino, if you have Alphino healing and Alice in the party, Alphino will prioritize healing Alice over you.
Yes.
And of course, Alice is... she's the one to stand in the AoE so she can get her spell off.
And she will prioritize using that limit break over anything else.
Heal or adjust?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where are you at? You're around here somewhere. Rift is being confused. Ah, there you are. Well, let's go see what Alice wants.
Follow the hat.
Oh, I need to adjust my sound real quick. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello, Graha. You're just standing out in the middle of nowhere here. Actually, I'm going to check in with Riol first.
As always.
When you're ready.
I think that's about the same, but... we've been receiving some worrying intelligence on the Empire, but with the place in a shambles as it is, it's taken longer than usual to verify the facts. I suggest you rest up in the meantime.
Oh, I'm done resting. Hey, Grandpa, how's it hanging?
I suppose we ought to take stock of the situation. By forestalling the 8th Umbral Calamity, we have unwritten history. The future now lies beyond my ken. None can say what awaits, but so long as we stand together, I doubt not that we can overcome all trials. We have always done so, have we not?
Nothing. But still.
Okay. I show him the wind-up misspell.
Oh, it's hilarious, but we've done that before. If he may?
If he may.
She's behind the bar.
Oh, right.
If you're looking for Isildare and Annalane, they're off to Doma to visit Homie.
Right?
In his entire time with us, I don't think I've ever seen Isildare so alive when he set out. That's right. Him and Home are like best of buds. Oh god, are these two
Oh
at it
dear,
again?
we have a full set back here for once.
Yeah. Clements? The Archons have scarcely returned, and already Sister is at it again. However this plays out, I pity the newcomer. Oh gosh. Has she suddenly decided... Oh dear. No, you can't have Crystal Grandpa. Culpine?
When I was tasked with holding the fort, the silence of the place was unnerving at times. Strange to say that it is amidst the ceaseless clamor that I feel most at peace.
Yeah, it's always good to have friends around. Ochre Boulder.
Here, here, brother. If Grahati is skilled in all forms of combat, as they say, we must train hard if we're to keep up.
Oh gods. They really
Graha
are.
is an all-arounder.
Yes, he is. Hori?
Not only have the Archons returned to us, but a capable new comrade has joined the fold besides. Their presence shall inspire us to ever greater heights.
Aenor?
Who speeds up.
Yes! They're smitten with the newcomer. Both of them. I won't let him come between us. Humph. If he were to join us, on the other hand... Oh, you are such a rotten girl. Ah, here's Alpha and Alice.
Yep.
Alpha no?
They decided to not live at the little cafe upstairs. Thanks to your reports, I had known that all was well in the source, but there's no relief like seeing our comrades again with my own eyes.
This is true.
If possible, I should like to thank Estinian in person for the help he lent us while we were away, but it seems he has not been heard from of late. Such is his way. Well, until such time as we meet again, I shall ever pray for his well-being, and take the absence of tidings as a good sign, as I do with our friends in the first.
Alice? While things are quiet, I think I'll move my body around some more. Need to get used to the new tricks I learned in the first. To that end, I'll round up Hori and his crew for a spot of sparring. Oh, and Grahatia too. In my capacity as his senior, I'm obligated to train him as well.
Oh, run.
Yeah, run very fast.
Just so you know,
Yes, dear?
Lodestone just made an announcement. Today is the 8th. Emergency maintenance at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh boy!
We are experiencing an issue with the Japanese data center. World characters cannot be accessed to certain features of Final Fantasy. To address this issue, we are performing emergency maintenance on Final Fantasy 14 Companion. Now, if that's,
Okay, the
Okay,
companion
Companion's the app.
is the app.
Okay.
But it's still good to know.
Yeah, just so you know. I didn't know if that was going to affect your...
Tataru. Everyone likes the new garments I prepared for them. The time I spent polishing my skills wasn't in vain.
Ask her a new outfit for everyone, every expansion.
Mm-hmm. And of questionable fashion sense.
Yeah, well.
In case you're wondering, Grahatia's is an outfit suited for traveling, while his weapon uses a piece of the crystal tower as a focus. Brilliant, right? Now, I know you probably shouldn't go around chopping off bits of Allagan relics, but it was just one little piece.
What could possibly happen?
Thank
Tataru.
Taro. Kryl, the more sensible of the two.
Alice's quest. Kryle's eyes light up at the sight of you.
Oh, greetings, Thayrin, Rylea. Come to look in on our friends? And more. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene at the Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use our pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we? Yeah, I have not seen Thancred or, Yushtola here.
Or Urianje.
Well,
Oh,
my
there.
friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans. Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Wow, Senpai put his foot down.
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well. Welcome back, everyone!
Hello, Lise. Long time no see.
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over? That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
Especially you.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
That's right, these two have never met.
I don't believe we've met.
At least not in this timeline.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahatir, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if
You're
I
a
said I
little
understood
ahead of
half
me.
of it.
Sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry, that was just adorable.
That's him all over.
Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity.
So far, so
does it?
good.
No.
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
Those are words of power, you know
I'll
that,
take that as a
MJ.
yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lise, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire.
Of course it is.
So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble.
Ew.
The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald, and we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Oh, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alize, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
What meeting? Lead on!
Yeah. I don't think I could say the other with a straight face.
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Actually, I think that's a good idea.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
Grahatia, accept it. We all understand you are a fanboy.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
Grahatia.
Here's a send-off group.
Yeah, but yeah, he's one giant fanboy. He always has been, and he's actually kind of gotten worse. But we kind of adore him for it too. Yes, Graha?
When Eustol is about, one cannot afford even the slightest slip.
Takes after her master. Tataru. Don't worry, I can say with confidence that Graha is trust for anything. Thank you, Tataru. Alice. When I set out to save Halric, I think Bagu was always in the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted was not lost, I'm convinced that the same must be true with the Tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the Aether in Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And although the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same.
It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alice, and warrants full investigation.
If there's even a chance that we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa to set to work, there's no room for recklessness. Not when a child's life is at stake. I'm sure Becklug would remind us, We still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge.
Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Allegans took a more than passing interest in the subject.
Yeah, considering they were master cloners.
Yeah. And the number of primals that they basically were feeding off the energy of.
Mm-hmm.
And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Aether Chemical Research Facility. Are we going to get another version of that?
Probably, but he's also right. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I'd never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Azazla, which means we'll be needing an airship.
Good Aetherite.
An airship, you say? Meet me in the north banks of Lake Silvertear. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Oh dear, what has Sid been up to this time?
I knew it had to be Sid.
Sid and his airships.
Oh, right, we're in the ward.
Mm-hmm. Everyone else looks here about the same. Checking with Infime real quick. Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah, that lot's the same. Real is the same. The others failed. No one new has shown up.
Correct. I will be outside with your carriage, madame.
Someday.
God, I love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mordona is suddenly a lot more lively than normal. It never really stopped being lively.
No.
Ah, there you are. Like we're going very far.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out all the PCs.
All in cinematics. Oh, that's a new design.
Whoa. Yeah. That's like an updated version of the little Buster that we have.
Kind of.
And very pink. Very,
Yes.
very pink.
Very Totaro.
Oh my gosh. She's got a little pink ironwork suit. What has she been up to?
More money-making schemes. She started her own airship line.
Oh, she totally would. I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with the help of our friends from the Rising Stones and named her for the luck and prosperity. Totaro, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want.
Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship... I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled Queenkeeper.
I'd also introduce myself to you as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as I hoped. Oh dear. But that's all right, because I've hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complementary of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azazla. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard!
Hey there.
Oh dear. And yes, that was a completely new model of airship we've never seen before. And welcome to Azazla, the floating city in the sky.
I wanted the cine of it in flight.
I know, we were denied. Graha? Well, excuse me, Cat Daddy, you're kind of... I know you're making googly eyes at Graha, but, thank you!
Did I ever mention that I was fond of flying? Because I am. Be it on an airship, an Amaro, or a chocobo. There's nothing so exhilarating as feeling the wind on your face as the horizon unfolds before you.
Alisei? Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Totaro has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azazla, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of the place justice.
I can imagine.
I bet. Alisei? So this is where you had your reckoning with Thordan. I wish I'd been with you.
Yeah, we could have used someone to hit the limit break for us.
Yeah. Not like we don't give him the weekly beating of his life at least once a week. Graha?
The wisdom of Alag. The wisdom of Alag is more food.
Hey. Herring pie is there. Your favorite.
Yep. Graha Tia surveys his surroundings with an expectant glint in his eye. This appears to be the helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time in Azazla, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there.
I even brought Urza out. Jeez. She feels insulted. Oh, and there's
okay, when we were counting up aetheryte styles a while ago, I had completely forgotten that one.
Yeah, and I think that's the only place it gets used.
Probably.
And Spike is here. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Alisei? Time for our authority on Allagan artifacts to show what he can do.
And here is the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Ah, there we are.
Iconic corruption and overview. That sounds promising.
Indeed. Let us see what this report has to say. found it, the contents appear to have been deleted.
Oh, really?
And who would do that?
What? No! Isn't there something you can do?
Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look.
It says here the report was written down by someone named Orwin. Is it likely that he kept a copy?
I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters in the Hemisphere. We can ascertain the details at Hemisphere Control. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination.
What? Urza's not good enough?
Unfortunately, Urza can't take 4.
I forgot. You already have a suitable means of transportation, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship, then. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. No, I have a chocobo carriage. Though
I wanted
Urza's
to see the mana cutters.
We'll probably see them in Cine. Hopefully, maybe. But we have mana cutters, so...
But considering the new design of airship, I'm not counting on the mana cutters to be the same design.
True, considering we've got prototype mana cutters.
That too.
And the Sky Pirates have general sale mana cutters they bought from Ironworks.
Chee. F is for fishy, that's good enough for me.
By the way, before we leave the area, I found a Vista that we have not done yet.
Seem to remember you mentioning that a little while ago. Okay.
Unfortunately, it's way south on the map from where we're currently going.
Of course. Speaking of which, head north.
You're right. I was going straight for the residential area. Oh, there's the mana colors. And they look pretty much the same.
Yeah, maybe a bit fancier, or at least different color on the trim. I don't think ours have so much blue.
I thought ours did. Anyway, as we push our way through the pile of adventurers, whom a lot of them are dragoons.
Oh dear.
I think I'm glad I'm doing this as warrior at the moment.
Yeah, this is...
Okay, first off, administrative node.
Welcome to Hemisphere Control. How may I assist you? Alice?
Somewhere in this mob. The mana cutters appear to be the Ironworks made, but I dare say Tataru will craft her own soon enough. Graha?
If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There. From what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. An evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Hemisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Bzz. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging.
Bye! Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example?
Why am I not surprised she came up with that?
That is such an Alice solution.
Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continent.
You seem to recall? Are you honestly telling me that there was records too?
I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected aether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role of caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there is no such thing as too much Allagat knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, the home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you is more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the beta quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wanted to manifest where the aether is stagnant.
Now you're just showing off. Which makes me think that we should make a contest of this. First to return here with the shards win. What do you say?
I will say that is so you.
And we're gullible to go along with it.
Very well. It would be my honor to come third.
Oh, Crystal Grandpa, you're having too much fun, aren't you?
Now give me a moment here. Let's see where they put it.
Put what? Oh, someone has a little baby T-Rex. Ah. Okay.
Okay, it is the same.
Fine. Be that way. Make me go into the mount guide.
It's on the first page.
No, it's not.
How many mounts do you have?
I have 4 pages worth of mounts. It's on the second page.
Good lord, I'm approaching the end of page 2 for mine. Which means you have about twice as many mounts. Or does the pretty whale take up a page all on his own?
Ooh, way down here. Yep.
Yeah. Stagnant.
I think this is someone else's.
Probably. So, time to generate our own.
There.
God, I picked it up and then they appeared.
Ah, so I'm ahead of you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hadn't realized I needed to interact with it a second time. Well, that was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind.
Ha ha, Graha. That's kind of the same shtick you pulled on us when we were opening up Crystal Tower.
I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. What? No dramatic entrance? You've changed.
Yeah. Though the second one is tempting as well.
That is the second one.
Or the third one, sorry.
Ah, yes. You remember that. In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you'd better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you, Rylea, Thayrin, for bringing me here.
Oh, look!
More sprites.
This is gonna be a never-ending game,
It's the sprite
isn't it?
that never ends.
Oh, let's get out of here. Ride,
Quick,
Fat
before someone
Chocobo,
else-
ride!
Oh, you're gonna do it that way, are you?
Yes, I am. This is called getting out of Dodge.
Fine.
Did you pull the mana cutter again? Ah, no. Firebird.
Random roulette.
But Fat Chocobo! He's like the most awesome tank mount ever. I mean, look at that chubbiness!
Mm-hmm.
And the cake! He must have cake. The cake is not a lie, except he can never get it, therefore the cake is a lie.
Something like that.
Alice?
She is there.
You have a shard? Then you win. I searched high and low, but couldn't find so much as a trace of stagnant aether.
You needed to go lower.
Yeah. Graha?
It appears Alice had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard?
Here you go.
Concentrated lightning shard. A lightning shard that fairly dances with the concentrated energy it harbors. Handle with care.
What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't?
Minimap.
Yes, minimap.
That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Rylea and Thayrin, and not only about the secrets of adventuring. But come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. Now we have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested.
Assuming this place still works like the Crystal Tower, yes. But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out the first sign of trouble.
And call. I promise. Wish me luck.
You better keep that promise. Claire. Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow is very learned, but the iconic corruption and overview sounds like a studium thesis. All we had to do is write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of Aether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alpha Nose was more philosophical, of course. Political, I dare say. He chose to write a lengthy dissertation on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlian knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced his views in the world would carefully argue to the death over anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean, the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded. But deep down, he still holds fast to that one belief. I admire him for it.
I should have liked to have met the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Allegan civilization as depicted in folklore.
Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. He is an Archon.
I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldessian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged.
Good gods. An Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray?
Yes. Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Blip. Initializing. Scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Blip. Verifying. Bloop. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Unai said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Blip, searching. Bloop, one item found. Iconic corruption, an overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password.
Well, come on then, Your Highness. Tell us the nice node the password.
Right, let's see. Glory be to Alag.
Nope.
Long live Emperor Zande.
Ah, this is gonna take a while. Hopefully it won't be a 3-strike you're out.
Bloop, bloop. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it.
Come on, passwords are inevitably short and simple. For instance...
Cause the system to relog.
Password!
Yes! The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden.
Handmaiden? Oh dear. What did you just call me? Oh god. The first would be...
I refuse to believe that it would be Wild Rose. I'm
I
going with
know,
Courage.
I know.
I still want something better than either of those.
Courage? Courage.
Bloop, bloop. Password incorrect. Again. Be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alice, stop it!
Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need.
Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones.
Come along, Nodi.
Yes.
Actually, he's the wrong color to be Nodi.
Yeesh.
Meatballs. Alice?
Somewhere. There she is.
Fine, I'll let Sid try his hand first, but if that doesn't work, we're doing it my way. Archive node.
Where is... Ah, there he is. Blip. Threat detected.
Grahatia.
Reviving the legacy. Grahatia seems eager to bear the node away. Yeah, away from Alice. Thank you, Cold. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Our Ambrose did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext, however much I might look forward to seeing him again. Him and everyone. But come, let us be on our way.
Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? And back to the Rising Stones.
Okay. I just realized there's the real question about the next expansion. What's the quest accepted sting going to be like?
Good question. Waiting for you to port in.
So am I.
You should be about in here. There you are. Ah, Yoshi P's still sitting at the bar.
I don't think he ever moves from there.
Oh,
Even when we see him somewhere else.
No, he shows up occasionally in Kugane.
And like I said, even when he's somewhere else, I don't think he ever moves from there.
Ha 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 ha. Archive node. Oh.
Large slow-born presence detected.
Great. It's a classist archive node.
It's the Allegans. Do you expect much better?
Kryl? I take it you have news to share. So do I. Tataru.
Okay.
I'm pleased to see your mission was a success, in no small part due to the bonanza. Alizé. Kryl's back too. I wonder what was decided at the council. Graha.
So, you know, Sid's had a couple of airships, the Enterprise and the Excelsior, or the Enterprise Excelsior as he really called it. So Tataru's is the Bonanza. If we have any more airships from her, will they be other old westerns?
I hope not. I would hate to see one called True Grit. You know that one's going to be a mess of trouble.
Yeah. Or maybe it can be, you know, other Lorne Green shows, which would get us, you know, like the Galactica, which that might not be a good idea either.
Sorry, I bumped the mic. I hope that didn't travel too much.
Didn't hear it.
Okay, that's good.
Wonderful news, Rylea, Thayrin. Tataru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryl?
As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to our intelligence from the Doma allies, the War of Succession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amid the chaos, the Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Yeah, it's called Bajja.
I was also meaning to mention, when this came up earlier, point out the fact that this is the second succession war they've had in, you know, like 3 years.
Yeah. The first one ended just as AAR was getting going.
No. The first one happened during Heavensward. Which is why you remember they're having or maybe it ended at the beginning of Heavensward, but during ARR Plus they're having a big fight after the end of the original story.
Anyway.
And that keeps them from being much of a threat for right after ARR.
Of greatest concern to us is Illard.
No.
The third.
Yes.
Okay, that is the third. Woohoo! Of great concern to us is the third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they've received substantial financial backing from the House Brutus.
Mean that anything dealing with them should also be references to FF3, which I don't know well enough. Though you've played most of 3.
Brutus, aren't they the ones who took Yotsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Not. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thayrin and Rylea will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time that they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict. And so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they've decided to turn their attentions on the Primal problem once more. Working with the friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Lomenzans in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphanal and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. So, as long as we're dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for the tempering, then anything is possible.
Which is why we must succeed.
And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives.
You're getting a lot of use out of that new set.
Yeah, Tataru. We've made the respite cozier than ever. You're gonna love it. Oh god, they did a set change.
I guess so.
Kryle. I understand that you took a little trip to Azazla. Raha made himself useful, I trust?
Always.
Interesting. She called him by his familiar name.
Yep.
Then again, she is part of the students of Baldessian.
Baldessian, so she probably knew him before.
Mm-hmm. Alice?
Moment. It looks about the same.
Actually, no. It's not as dark. And the carpets are new. And so is the table, I believe.
The table was here previously, in the first scene we had in here. I don't think it was here before then, but it was here then.
As important as Gabu is to me, I only know too well how much more it is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. Yeah. By the way, for people who have not played through to this part, Gabu is a small little kobold child who kind of got tempered between AAR and Heaven's Word.
I thought it was a little later than that, but yeah.
And it was kind of a heartbreaking storyline. The kid right now is in the protection of the Maelstrom at Limsa Lominsa.
And especially because it was kind of an accidental tempering.
Yeah. Grahatia?
Sid, at long last.
Archive node.
Bloop, bloop. Warning. His Highness is exhibiting elevated blood pressure.
I thought that was Grahatia's general state.
Started Titan Hard. Okay, that would be AR plus.
Actually, it didn't start Titan Hard. You could actually unlock Titan Hard like a patch before that. But you had to do it for the story there.
Sid! Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer.
Oh, you have no idea, Sid.
Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. Ha! I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it? Well, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly. And thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambrose. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to the terminal and set it to work right away. Yeah, that's a nice rendition of that theme. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom.
Ha! Short and simple, just like I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness?
I would, my lady. Node, open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Bloop. Opening report. Help me, Obi-Wan. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the aether of the soul. Said aether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the aether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the aether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's aether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Ammon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence I have been stripped of rank and title and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording.
We kind of suspected all the elements could do it, not just light and darkness, but having it confirmed.
But not even the Allagans were able to find a cure, or rather were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Ammon's decision.
More importantly, this confirms that the stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that.
True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining his thrall. I am a bit interested in hearing more about what he mentioned of being able to protect people from tempering.
If we can only make them remember who they were, or there's no point in reviving their souls unless we can also restore their sense of self.
Which are basically different ways of saying the same thing.
I'm going with the second.
Okay, I'll go with the first.
Who first?
I suppose me. If we could only make them remember who they were. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. And see if yours is the same.
Exactly the same. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Love these dialogue trees. They're kind of evergreens. One trunk and not a lot of branches.
Yeah, well. Stay on story! Stay on story!
By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith which have come to dominate the individual's thoughts.
I see. The theory seems sound, and our expertise treating the light corrupted would help to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident that you can adapt to memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts doing so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting.
They did, you're right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure.
Then perhaps it's better we consider another approach.
Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. Which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? Keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such.
Oh, twist that knife!
You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief! And no turning them into coffee pots.
Yeah, you still have a lot to answer for, Wedge, of those Broil Masters. Claire.
Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Well.
Cryle? Suffice to say, I shall be of whatever help I can. Tataru? All those Magitech terminals won't come cheap. Ack, shut up, Tataru. Some things you shouldn't put a price on.
Yes.
Graha?
As with our first foray into the labyrinth of the ancients, we seek to venture into the unknown. And in order to succeed, we require not only knowledge and preparation, but daring besides. Just like old times.
Alise? We're getting there, Thayrin, Rylea, one step at a time. Sid?
Actually, archive node.
Oops.
Who is silent. I'm not surprised he is off. Right. While Graha, Tia, and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better.
Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree.
In that case, I'll trust Rylea, Thayrin, and Alise with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Skysteel manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. People will give you what you need.
You got it, boss. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. Graha?
We shall see to it the terminals are ready by the time you return.
Sid?
If Alise is bound for the ceruleum processing plant, you'll want to take yourself to the Skysteel manufactory. Off you go now. Well, maybe tomorrow.
Yep, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, it is almost log time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
This
we
is
couldn't get
definitely
to
a good break point.
dungeon cold, but at least we got some technical issues sorted out.
Yeah.
Tataru, real quick. The workshop hasn't been used for a while. I'll give it a good cleaning.
You do this.
And...
Oh dear. Oh dear. Look in the back.
Oh no. What? Kryle, why are you...
She's rounding up adventurers for gathering the shards.
We're about to set off for ice shards. I suggest we all compare spoils when we return. Checking with Clements. We're all raring to get out and gather ice shards. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're all raring to gather ice shards. I expect we'll head out any moment now, just as soon as these two have finished limbering up.
That might take a day.
Colton A?
For ice shards, there's no better place than Corythus. We shall see to it we return with only the finest samples.
Ochre?
That's the spirit, brother. We can't be seen pulling less weight than Grahatia.
Oh no. Hooray?
We'll bring back so many ice shards, the workshop will be a veritable ice house. Now then, where did I put my thick mittens?
Enor? Grahatia's scarcely been here, but he's already impressed the bridges off of both Hooray and Ochre. That's my job! Oh god, you are such a rotten girl! Oh, and no, you can't have my fanboy. He's my fanboy. He's adorable. I will put him on a special case, and no one else will have him.
Uh-huh.
But he will never replace Urianger. Real?
Has he changed? Well, while Thayrin and Rylea are off to Garlemald, I'll keep the information flowing freely between us and the Alliance. After all, close coordination is the key to winning this war.
Oh, we should probably check with Ifime too.
Yeah.
Okay, she says the same.
Yep.
Thank you all very much for joining us. We'll probably log out here at the inn just outside of Rising Stones.
Actually, I'm going to log out in here.
But there's no rest state in there.
And I actually need rest state. Darn fish. Fish ate my rest state. Is this food?
Yeah, pretty much. And we have a Congo line on the bar.
Why
nice.
am I not surprised?
I can never get myself to sync properly when dancing. But yeah, we've got an entire Santa Conga line on the bar. This is actually kind of hilarious. But we hope to pick up the story tomorrow night. Probably about 9:30 is our goal. So far, the patch is being very interesting. I can officially say, oh wow, the salt flowing in Puppet's bunker when everyone suddenly found out that it was now part of Alliance Raid Roulette. I just have to sit there and smile, you know? Anyway, thank you all very much for joining us. We hope to see you tomorrow night. You guys get a good night's sleep. And come on, Oz, why don't you come on? There we go. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Be safe, all.
Yep. See you all.